Level 1. The Junior. The illusion of impact. You swipe your brand new, gloss finish corporate badge against the glass turnstile. Beep. The heavy security gates part like the Red Sea, welcoming you into the billion-dollar tech sanctuary. You take a deep, shaky breath. The air in here is climate-controlled perfection, carrying the rich, bitter scent of single-origin roasted coffee mixed with the faint, ozone-like smell of overheated server rooms. All around you, the relentless, deafening clatter of mechanical keyboards sounds like a million tiny hammers forging the future. You are an L3, a junior software engineer at a FAANG empire. You finally made it. You survived the grueling LeetCode gauntlet, the 6-round whiteboarding interrogations, the agonizing waiting games. You are here to build things that matter. You are here to change the world. At least, that's the corporate Kool-Aid you eagerly swallowed on orientation day. Fast forward 3 months. It's 3:14 a.m. on a Tuesday. The taste of your 4th free zero-sugar energy drink coats your tongue, a synthetic metallic tang that makes your empty stomach churn. Your eyes burn, bloodshot and violently twitching under the harsh, sterile blue glow of your dual 4K monitors. A cold bead of sweat slowly traces a path down your spine, soaking into your company-branded hoodie. The open-plan office around you is a silent graveyard of empty LaCroix cans and half-eaten granola bars. You are staring at a massive, undocumented legacy codebase that looks less like elegant architecture and more like a digital Frankenstein. You've been debugging the same 3 lines of code for 7 consecutive hours, trying to fix a P0 incident. Your fingers are completely numb. Your chest feels dangerously tight, your heart hammering against your ribs like a trapped bird trying to escape. The anxiety of the on-call pager is a physical weight, crushing the oxygen out of your lungs. You finally hit enter. You push the commit. The CI/CD pipeline turns green. The build passes. You slump back into your $1,200 ergonomic Herman Miller chair, waiting for that rush of world-changing satisfaction to wash over you. But it never comes. Because in the dead silence of the empty office, reality hits you like a freight train. You didn't write an algorithm to cure a disease or launch a rocket. You just spent 14 agonizing hours of your finite human life, subburning your retinas and destroying your mental health, just to change the hex code of a Buy Now button from a soft blue to a slightly more aggressive shade of indigo. All to increase the daily ad click-through rate by 0.01%. You wipe your greasy face with trembling hands. The company feeds you 3 free gourmet meals a day, washes your clothes, and gives you a sleeping pod so you never have a reason to leave. You aren't changing the world. You are just a highly paid, well-fed battery powering a ruthless money-printing machine, and your battery life is already draining. Level 2. The mid-level, the death of innocence. The sterile, glass-walled, one-on-one meeting room smells faintly of whiteboard markers and stale corporate ambition. Your manager's voice drones on, a low, buzzing static that makes your ears ring. It's your first major perf review cycle. You've sacrificed weekends, skipped your best friend's wedding to handle a Sev1 database migration, and bled over your mechanical keyboard to deliver flawless, scalable logic. You stare at the sleek MacBook screen. The glowing pixels burn a hole through your retinas. There it is, the official rating staring back at you like a cruel joke. Meets expectations. No promotion. No massive RSU refresher. Just a patronizing smile and a pre-rehearsed HR script about finding your voice and increasing visibility. The air conditioning suddenly feels freezing, sending a violent shiver down your spine. The blood drains from your face, leaving your cheeks numb and tingling. Then, through the soundproof glass, you see him. Greg from the adjacent squad. Greg doesn't build anything. While Greg schedules alignment syncs, weaponizes corporate buzzwords like synergy, and flawlessly copy-pastes your system architecture diagrams into his glossy PowerPoint decks for upper management. You can hear his booming, arrogant laugh vibrating through the floorboards. Greg just got the L5 senior promo. A suffocating weight settles on your chest. The taste of your expensive artisan matcha latte turns to bitter ash in your dry mouth. The realization hits you with the physical force of a sledgehammer to the ribs. This place isn't a meritocracy. It's a theater, and you've been playing the wrong role. You walk back to your desk, your footsteps feeling heavy, like dragging chains across the polished concrete floor. The blindingly bright screen of your IDE, your sanctuary of pure logical algorithms, now looks like a trap, a beautifully engineered hamster wheel. You reach over to the edge of your desk. Your fingers wrap around the worn, dog-eared spine of your favorite book, Clean Code. The paper feels rough against your cold, sweaty skin. Without a second thought, you let it slip from your grip. Thud. It hits the bottom of the recycling bin with a hollow, sickening sound. You close your eyes, feeling the first, deep fracture spiderwebbing across your soul. The innocent engineer in you is dead, suffocated by the heavy blanket of corporate politics. When you open your eyes again, they are colder, sharper. You pull up a blank document. It's time to stop writing code to solve user problems and start writing code to build your own empire. Level 3. The senior. The birth of a monster. The air in the office suddenly feels thinner, carrying the distinct, metallic scent of ozone and burnt espresso. You are an L5 now, a senior software engineer. You no longer wear the free company swag. You wear dark, expensive minimalist hoodies that hide the permanent, aching tension in your shoulders. You've mastered the real game. You realize that writing clean, maintainable code doesn't get you promoted. Complexity does. So, you become an architect of chaos. You start gatekeeping. You intentionally weave a tangled web of undocumented microservices, layered with so much bespoke, convoluted logic that it looks like digital black magic. Why? Because if you are the only one who understands the labyrinth, you are indispensable. It's the ultimate job security. You sit in your ergonomic chair, the expensive mesh creaking softly under your weight. A cynical smirk playing on your lips as you watch desperate mid-level engineers struggle to decipher your cryptic pull requests. But your untouchable illusion shatters on a Friday afternoon. A massive production outage hits. The Datadog dashboards on your vertical monitor bleed a terrifying, violent red. Searing PagerDuty alarms pierce the quiet hum of the open floor, vibrating through the soles of your designer sneakers. A cold, jagged spike of pure panic drives straight into your gut. You taste copper, the sharp, unmistakable flavor of your own surging adrenaline. You know exactly what happened. It was your highly complex, undocumented config push that just brought the entire payment gateway down. Your hands hover over the mechanical keyboard. The plastic keycaps feel like blocks of ice against your trembling fingertips. Your heart hammers against your ribs, a deafening, frantic rhythm threatening to crack your chest open. If you confess to this, your upcoming promotion to staff engineer goes up in smoke. Then, your eyes dart to the Git commit history. A fresh L3 junior, eager, exhausted, exactly like you used to be 2 years ago, touched an adjacent module yesterday. The blinding white background of the incident postmortem document glares at you. You swallow hard, your throat tight and bone dry. Slowly, deliberately, you start typing. You craft a masterpiece of corporate doublespeak, wrapping your fatal error in thick layers of technical jargon, flawlessly and subtly shifting the root cause to the junior's unoptimized, Inexperienced implementation. You hit submit. Click. The sound of your mouse echoes in your mind like a suppressed gunshot. Now you watch the incident Slack channel explode as upper management brutally tears the terrified junior apart. A sickening knot twists in your stomach. You close your eyes, the guilt clawing at your throat, the ghost of your past self screaming in horror. But then, your phone vibrates against the polished desk. A push notification from your brokerage app. Your latest RSU grant just vested. The OLED screen glows in the dim light, displaying a massive, six-figure addition to your net worth. You stare at that staggering number. The suffocating knot of guilt slowly dissolves into a chilling, hollow void. A cold, lifeless smile stretches across your face. You take a slow sip of your iced Americano. The monster isn't just awake, it's ready to feed. Level 4. The staff engineer, the golden cage. The deafening clatter of mechanical keyboards is gone. Up here on the executive floor, the silence is so absolute it makes your ears ring. You run your fingers across the cold, smooth surface of your premium standing desk, positioned perfectly by the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the smog-choked city. The air in your private pod smells of expensive leather and sanitized ozone. You are a staff engineer now. L6. You've successfully locked yourself inside the golden cage. You stare blankly at your ultra-wide curved monitor. You haven't written a single line of production code in 8 months. Your IDE is gathering digital dust. Instead, your entire existence is consumed by the soul-crushing, endless scroll of architecture reviews and pull requests. You've devolved into a professional gatekeeper. You casually click reject on a flawlessly optimized PR from a brilliant L4, simply because his team is competing with yours for the upcoming Q3 budget. You type, needs more cross-functional alignment with our macro-architectural vision, and hit send. The taste of the expensive aged scotch, secretly poured into your matte black Yeti tumbler, burns the back of your throat. It fails to wash away the sour, metallic taste of your own hypocrisy. It's 2 p.m. You step into a freezing, over-air-conditioned glass boardroom for yet another strategic roadmap sync. You sit at the polished mahogany conference table, surrounded by other staff engineers and mid-level directors. The suits. Everyone is smiling. Everyone is politely nodding. They toss around sterile corporate venom like synergy, reorg, and capturing headcount. But your heart is hammering a frantic, erratic rhythm against your ribs. A single drop of icy sweat slides down your spine, soaking into the collar of your custom-tailored shirt. You look into their dead, calculating eyes, and the paranoia hits you like a physical blow to the stomach. The filtered air suddenly feels too thick to breathe. You realize the terrifying truth. There are no friends in this room. Everyone sitting around this table is a predator, smiling with blood on their teeth. They are all desperately trying to steal your scope, your projects, your engineers, your relevance, to feed their own promotion packets. You grip the armrests of your Herman Miller chair so hard, your knuckles turn bone white, your fingertips completely numb. And you are constantly waiting for the knife in the dark. You are waiting for some hungry, ruthless L5 to do to you exactly what you did to get here. You are a millionaire on paper, heavily chained to millions in unvested RSUs you can't walk away from. You own a Porsche, a mortgage on a minimalist smart home, and a soul that is rotting in real time. You are too rich to quit, but too terrified to ever truly sleep. Every single Slack notification ping now echoes in your quiet office, like the ticking of a bomb. Level 5. The senior staff/manager, the puppet master. The notification chimes softly, a delicate, crystal-clear ping cutting through the absolute silence of your corner office. The subject line of the encrypted email from the vice president reads, "Confidential. Q. 3 resource reallocation." The sterile corporate euphemism makes your stomach do a slow, sickening flip, but the muscles in your face remain entirely paralyzed. You are an L7 now, a senior staff manager, the puppet master. You double-click the attached spreadsheet. The blinding white grid burns into your retinas. It's a master list of your entire organization. 150 human beings, reduced to mere rows of data, performance metrics, and unvested stock tiers. The mandate is clear and brutal. Cut 15% of your headcount by Friday, or your own L7 position will be re-evaluated. The air conditioning hums, blowing freezing, filtered air against the back of your neck. You take a slow, calculated sip of your black espresso. It tastes like ash and burnt ambition. You reach across your pristine desk and pick up your $3,000 Mont Blanc fountain pen, rolling the cold, heavy rhodium plating between your fingers to ground your slightly trembling hands. You look at the screen. You don't see people anymore. You don't see the bright-eyed L3 junior who just had his first baby, or the exhausted L5 senior who worked 80-hour weeks to salvage your Q2 OKRs. You only see liabilities. You only see rows of expenses standing between you and your $1 million annual target bonus. Your cursor hovers over the name of a loyal engineer you personally mentored. For a fraction of a second, a phantom ache pulses in your chest, the dying gasp of whatever conscience you have left. Then, you click the drop-down menu and select the red Terminate tag. Click. Another name, for click. Another family's financial security, erased with the effortless flick of a matte black ergonomic mouse. You coldly select 10 names, feeding them into the corporate meat grinder to build a wall around your own golden throne. 2 hours later, the internal Slack channels erupt in pure, unadulterated chaos. The mass layoffs have begun. Badges are brutally deactivated mid-keystroke. Corporate laptops are remotely wiped. You lean back in your plush leather chair, your face an unreadable, stone-cold mask. You pull up a blank company-wide email. Your fingers dance across the mechanical keyboard, flawlessly typing a pre-approved HR template. This was an incredibly difficult decision. We deeply value our departing colleagues' contributions. We are restructuring to stay agile for the macroeconomic future. You hit send, and you swallow the bitter, metallic saliva pooling in your dry mouth. You slip on your angel mask, standing up and smoothing the wrinkles on your designer suit, ready to walk out and offer fake, solemn condolences to the terrified survivors. You realize, with absolute, chilling clarity, that there is nothing left inside you. Your soul hasn't just been sold, it has been completely hollowed out. Level 6, the director, the emperor of nothingness. The elevator doors slide open with a silent, expensive hum. You step onto the top floor. The air up here is perfectly still, smelling faintly of imported leather and sanitized ambition. You are an L8 now, a director. You have reached the absolute summit of the FAANG food chain. You walk into your sprawling corner office and lock the heavy oak door. The silence is deafening. It presses against your eardrums, isolating you from the thousands of engineers grinding away beneath your feet. You pour a measure of 30-year-old scotch into a crystal glass. The amber liquid burns the back of your throat, but it fails to thaw the freezing numbness spreading through your chest. You pull out your phone. Your thumb swipes open your banking app. The OLED screen glows in the dim light, displaying a net worth that comfortably sits in the 8-figure range. Millions invested RSUs, a portfolio that guarantees you will never have to worry about money again. But as you stare at those glowing digits, your hands begin to tremble. The heavy gold Patek Philippe on your wrist suddenly feels like a gilded handcuff pulling you down. You are the emperor of nothingness. You have conquered the corporate ladder, only to realize you are standing on a mountain of broken bodies, ruined mental health, and shattered ideals, including your own. You walk over to the floor-to-ceiling tempered glass window and press your cold forehead against the pane. The sun is setting, casting long, bleeding red shadows across the sprawling tech campus below. Down there, on the concrete pavement, you see them. A fresh batch of L3 juniors. They are wearing their brand new company hoodies, clutching their backpacks, laughing with bright, innocent eyes as they badge in for the night shift. A suffocating, physical wave of grief washes over you. You remember that smile. You remember that burning desire to write code that would change the world. You want to scream down at them. You want to shatter the glass and tell them to run before this ruthless machine grinds their humanity into fine dust. But you don't. You just stand there in the dark, taking another slow sip of your whiskey, the bitter taste of absolute isolation coating your tongue. Because the terrifying truth finally clicks in your head. The corporate ladder doesn't lead to heaven. It's just an endless staircase descending into a beautifully air-conditioned hell. You sold your entire soul for a plastic badge, a corner office, and a flashing stock ticker. And the funniest, most agonizing part of it all, when the stress finally stops your heart at this very desk, they will deactivate your badge before your body even goes cold. This billion-dollar empire doesn't even know your name. You were never a human being. You were just an employee ID